Sawadee krap, I'm JP Mestanza. Today is Tuesday, May 21st. You're watching Phuket Xtra, brought to you by pvcphuket.com. Today, please be aware that there will be an alcohol ban starting tonight here in all of Thailand, tonight at midnight, all the way till midnight on Wednesday for Visakha Busha Day in Thailand, a religious holiday. Let's get to the news. Phuket authorities are looking for the person who stabbed a monk here on the island, who was the abbot of a temple in Thalang, and reportedly it was all because the abbot was unable to hand over 20 baht, the equivalent of just over half a US dollar. The stabbing took place shortly before 11:30 p.m. on Sunday night, according to police, who say that the man entered the Wat Phra Thong temple in Thalang and threatened the abbot if he failed to hand over 20 baht. The abbot, identified as Prakru Suwan Putabiban, explained that monks do not carry money, which angered the man, and he stabbed the abbot once in the chest and fled on a motorbike. The abbot was taken to Thalang Hospital and later to Vashira Phuket Hospital in Phuket Town. Meanwhile, police are questioning other monks at the temple and trying to track the man down. Police were told that the temple had recently suffered a spate of thefts from donation boxes. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. An investigation is underway into the cause of a fire that decimated a luxury yacht that was moored in Chalong Bay on Monday afternoon. A 35-meter sailing yacht named Obsession 2 caught fire at about 3 p.m., according to marine authorities, who say that the Royal Thai Navy dispatched 2 boats at the scene. The vessel was anchored and unattended, but the fire had ripped through and left the mast leveled. Luckily, no one was on board at the time, but it did take about 3.5 hours for firefighters to bring the blaze under control. The full extent of the damage is still being assessed, according to marine authorities. She was reportedly being used as a charter vessel when the fire occurred. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. This week, the National Tourist Police Commander for all of Thailand is in Phuket to stress the importance of making sure that foreigners and operators who rent out cars and motorbikes understand the license and comply with all legal requirements. Police Lieutenant General Saksirapukam addressed some of the island's top officials, including the Phuket Provincial Police Commander and the Vice President of the Phuket Chamber of Commerce in a meeting on Monday, aimed at establishing several measures that had already been stressed by local authorities on the island. One of these measures is for consuls to educate and inform tourists about the need to have driver's licenses in their home countries and the process for obtaining a license right here in the kingdom. For local car and motorbike rental operators, it is essential to understand which driving licenses are valid in Thailand and to ensure that rental contracts are fair to tourists. Earlier this year, the Phuket Land Transport Office posted a notice stating that the Department of Land Transport is the only authority issuing genuine driver's licenses in Thailand. The agency has warned against buying driving licenses online amid growing numbers of such offers for foreigners in social media. The meeting came weeks after the National Tourist Police Commander had already paid a visit to the island to remind car and motorbike rental businesses that they could be fined if their customers were caught driving without valid licenses. For more, visit thephuket.news.com.
I was sure that it'll be easier to clear you from my mind. She fall out from the window, take a bad trip to the ground. Ooh. Ain't been the pleasure, see pressure just before you break a bone.
A woman driving a motorbike loaded with 50 kilos of latex tappings lost control of her vehicle on Saturday evening and crashed her bike and died when she landed and was wrapped in within barbed wire fencing in Tambon Tekrasatri. The woman, believed to be from Myanmar, died about 100 meters from Tekrasatri Road on a local road shortly before 8 p.m. on Saturday, according to police. Authorities say that she was not wearing a helmet when she lost control of her motorbike, which was overloaded with about 50 kilos of cargo, and crashed onto the barbed wire fencing which wrapped around her head. Officers believe that the woman was driving at high speed and lost control of the motorbike, causing her to crash into the barbed wire fencing, and she had no helmet. The woman's body was taken to Thalang Phuket Hospital while police tried to identify her and continued their investigation into the accident. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin has responded to a petition that was submitted days ago by 40 senators who have asked the Constitutional Court to rule on the status of the Premier and his new office minister, Pichit Shunban, who stated that Pichit's appointment goes against the Constitution because he was sentenced to prison for attempted bribery during the Thaksin Shinawatra administration. The group of senators submitted their petition saying that the appointment of Pichit as a new cabinet minister during the reshuffle at the end of April violated Section 170 of the Constitution that deals with morals and ethical standards of a cabinet minister, according to the Bangkok Post. Back in 2008, Pichit had been representing Thaksin Shinawatra and his ex-wife in the infamous land purchase case, in which Thaksin was actually sentenced to 2 years in jail for, but never spent a day in prison. But before that verdict, Pichit, as Thaksin's lawyer, had dropped off a box of snacks to the Supreme Court. That box of snacks contained 2 million baht in cash, and it was seen as an attempt to bribe the court. He was handed a 6-month jail term for contempt of court. Now, a group of more than 30 dozen senators say that Pichit's attempt at bribing the Supreme Court all those years ago and his subsequent imprisonment makes him unfit to assume a cabinet post. The senators go one further, saying that the Prime Minister, in appointing Pichit, should be held accountable for this decision as well. The Prime Minister, Srettha Thavisin, who is part of the same Bhutai party as Thaksin Shinawatra, he fielded questions abroad from reporters and stated he was not worried about the petition as the office of the court is still considering whether to accept it before even making a ruling. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. The Prime Minister has previously stated his intention to bring the Formula One racing event here to Thailand, possibly on public streets in Bangkok. This week, after having met with Formula One organizers in Italy prior to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, he stated that a racing circuit could be built near the U-Tapao airport in Rayong province. Srettha met with executives of Formula One Group in Milan and later at the Autodromo in Imola on Sunday, and reiterated to reporters of the government's intention to bring the international sporting event to the country to boost tourism. At the meeting in Italy, the Premier also brought along the chairman of PTT, one of the biggest conglomerates in the country, and whom the Prime Minister stated would sponsor the construction of a new racing circuit in Thailand to hold a Formula One event. Also in attendance was the president of BTS Group Holdings, which the Prime Minister says could be the concessionaire of the vast compound, which he stated could be built near the U-Tapao airport in Rayong province. The government would not be ready to start construction on potential racing circuit until 2027 or 2028 at the latest, according to the Prime Minister. The meetings came a month after the Premier met with F1 Group CEO Stefano Domenicali during the latter's trip to Thailand to discuss about the possibility to have the kingdom host a Formula One race in the future. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. We really appreciate you joining us here today on Phuket Extra, brought to you by pbcphuket.com. Check us out again tomorrow. Until then, stay classy, Phuket.
Phuket's rapid modernization has made it one of the world's premier holiday destinations. Investors can still buy quality condominiums for as low as $75,000 and luxury properties can go all the way up to 20 million. Condominiums in Phuket are a safe, secure bricks-and-mortar investment offering foreigners freehold ownership. Call or email Thai Residential, Phuket's #1 trusted real estate advisor, to find your perfect Phuket property.